Hello and welcome to the Zen Garden Junk Journal Build Part 1. I'm very excited about this junk journal. It is themed after the Zen gardens I would see in the northwestern part of California, along the coast in Humboldt County and in Mendocino County. I've already cut everything out, as you can see, and picked out what pages I'm going to use, and am assembling some of the pieces. And I was recording this and building this very, very late at night and was very tired, so I've cut out a lot of the blank space in moments where my brain was thinking through molasses, and have just got the essential moments. So here I am trying out some of the cards that I had made, and I'm not 100% about this card. Still looking through the other themed cards. There's a lot of redwoods and mossy stone walls and cairns, stone cairns, mushrooms, and some koi pond themes. This was from a small kit that I had gotten off Etsy. I will find the seller and link it, the creator. But this was a sweet little, I thought they were actually going to be a lot bigger than they are. They turned out pretty tiny, so I'm adding them into other journals. And they feature koi fish. Well, I had put the designs on this little template. And as you can see, there's beautiful koi fish in water. And that one, that little teeny tiny journal card folio fits nicely right there. So I'm just deciding to take this out and put it away for another spot in the journal. Don't want it to take up a spot and not get attention if I find a nice place for it to be. And flipping through, letting the inspiration come. I have so many pieces, almost too many, because I knew I was going to be making multiple journals with this theme, 2 of this size and then 2 smaller. And I settled here on some moss and mushrooms, a little side corner tuck that I can glue on, and then, oh, nope, I think I have ejected that piece. I'm trying something else here. Apparently I don't like that one either. Checking out this pocket, and we're back to the green with the stones. It's always a process, just seeing what feels good, and I think I liked how the green of this pocket matched the green paper that I had added as a complement to the blues, the greens, the wood colors, the natural colors that one would see on a hike. Through the gullies and gulches of Northern California. And these journaling cards are from some masterboards that I made during the winter holiday. I was pretty sick and had even a harder time thinking that I was having on this late night build. And these are a wonderful thing to make just with bits and pieces of scrap paper. You can see that I was stamping hearts, and that was the cutout leftover part of the scrap part of the hearts and just adding scrap pieces of paper. I think that was a junk mail flyer or something that I glued things onto to reuse and recycle that so that it doesn't end up in the landfill. And it's beautiful. And I am not quite sure, though, that is its home in this journal. I am checking out some other options to see if this vintage postcard, if the stones or a redwood tree trunk and some ferns would go better here. Some moss and a mushroom. Do not know the names and identification of the mushrooms, so therefore I shall not eat them. I just think they're beautiful and fascinating. And so I'm trying some different options. That blue paper is another thing that I did during the winter break, the winter holiday, trying out some new watercolor paints that I had gotten for Christmas and taking some strips of paper that I had cut and testing out the watercolors, and it looked beautiful, so I kept them as potential elements and ephemera to use in these journals. And this one is about to become a belly band that will hold that card nicely in place, and it will beautifully match the colors and the themes of these pages. Instead of cutting off the edge, I've elected to wrap it around, as you'll see in a moment. And I'm switching back and forth between using glitter glue, which is a wonderful glue for paper and fabric, and some of that paper that I'm gluing to right now is a handmade paper that was sent to me as a birthday present by a beloved family member, and it's got a very fabric feel to it. And I especially love the tip of the glitter glue. I have an even smaller tip that I can make a very fine line of glue so as to make sure that I have plenty of space for whatever I'm tucking into those pockets. And sometimes I'm using Scotch fabric, Create glue stick, permanent glue stick, and sometimes I'm using a Woohoo glue stick in this recording. I have decided to make a little tag on top of this journaling card so that it's easier to pull out and it's clear that it's something that needs to be untucked from that place and explored. And moving on to the back side of this, I have selected this fold over hidden journal spot, koi pond themed. I shifted away from the lighter green, blue-green, into the darker blue to match the paper to the right. And that will just be a hidden secret journaling spot. It was so late at night and I did not want to I was so tired I didn't want to get up and get the washi tape, but I will add that at another time to make sure that that is secured in that spot. And some of the papers are cardstock and some of them are more copy weight. And I'm putting most of the ephemera and decorations and added items onto the cardstock stiffer papers. and leaving the paperweight as places just for journaling. And here is a beautiful pocket of stone wall. Checking out this fern, this gorgeous fern. I cannot, for the life of me, keep a fern alive indoors. I loved that little tag with the bead of water. Condensation on a plant, which is gorgeous. And I often will pick various sizes of tags just to add some interest. And another pocket here. These ones where they have the fold over like that, you can add more stuff. It gives more space when there is the folded over sides versus just having the tuck laying flat on the page. It allows for adding an envelope or multiple journaling cards or various other things. And I'm going into the envelope box, which you can't see, it's just out of the frame. This envelope is actually made of the same exact print as the page to the right. I am looking for some things to put inside of this envelope, some little treasures. And I have some tickets. I was in a sand garden, a lotus flower, another sand garden, I think some driftwood or rocks, more sand garden designs, all sorts of little treasures that I can put in there. But first, I am going to need to actually glue this little envelope. And those small-sized cards aren't going to actually fit in there, but this other one that I made out of, I think, some packing, the paper that I used for that, the crinkly brown bag paper, was from a package that I'd received in the mail that I crumpled up, inked up a little bit, distressed a little, added some of the remnant heart stamps, and there's that blue watercolor test strip again. All of it created a nice small journaling card that I can add into this envelope. And I'm using the glitter glue to seal up this little envelope and add it once it is dry. Add all those little treasures. And putting it into the pocket. And well, I usually like an uncut version of a junk journal or art build. I like to watch the process. I really was taking a long time, sitting and thinking and pondering and trying various things, and I am going to save you from that. So on this next page, I was going to do a flip up secret journal space of mountains. I love looking out over redwood forests as the clouds are low hanging over the trees. It's all foggy and misty and beautiful. So I definitely wanted to make sure that redwood forests were represented in these Zen gardens. There is a pond with abundant lily pads and lily flowers. I have some miniature lilies growing in my aquariums in my home. And they are absolutely beautiful. Behind this secret journaling spot, I'm going to add a small pocket. It'll hide behind there nicely. It'll be a nice little surprise for the recipient of this journal. One of the things that I love to do to cultivate a sense of joy and happiness is to create things for people I appreciate. And these journals are likely to be gifted to some folks that I have a lot of gratitude for. And the process of just building this, getting in the zone, and thinking all sorts of positive thoughts for those amazing people just really lift my spirits. This is a trillium flower, one of my favorite flowers to come across. Again, I try to grow them and I don't have that much luck. So, but in the Northwest, they are just prevalent. I guess they're prevalent here too, in a lot of the more wetland areas and alongside the streams and rivers in the Northeast where I live. And just checking the flow of the pages. I have not sewn this signature together. That's what we call a group of pages. I really liked these stone walls with moss overgrown. In the Northeast, you see tons of old stone walls as you're walking around in the woods to mark old property lines. It's amazing how long that they stay intact for. This side pocket will be a nice place to tuck some of the larger cards. I was finding that these pockets that I had made were either too short for the larger journal or too long for having it horizontal. And I'm first trying out this mossy log with teeny tiny beautiful little mushrooms and a card that has some cursive writing. I'm trying to remember where this, I think this was a remnant scrap of stones that I found and I saved for this. I am adding some distress ink, some Ranger distress ink. I want to say it is espresso, maybe. Not sure. But adding that as a border. Love the irregular shape of it. And that will again be another nice place to put a journaling card. This cute little deer. This fawn with little white spots. I always see so many deer in the forests of Northern California. Gotta watch out for them in the mountainy logging road drives. And I have some waterfalls and some driftwood collection images, some statues of Buddhas, a lot of nice things to choose from. And apparently I did not decide yet. Sort of like when you're, I don't know, I don't like to spend too long if it doesn't feel right. I just move along and trust that the inspiration will come and that I will find the right connection. A little more mossy wall on this edge to have a side pocket. Trying out the driftwood journal card. And mossy stone Buddha statues. This is a beautiful picture of a newly unfurling fern. Just gorgeous. This small square that I have cut out with scissors in the shape of a stamp will make a nice corner tuck for whatever, tickets or journal cards. Oh, I guess I made it into a pocket. These sculpted hands with a beautiful gold candle. And adding a ticket into that. I like to put maybe one word on a ticket, like a characteristic or a trait that I am focusing on incorporating into my life. Again, I went with the darker koi pond pocket to match the papers on those pages. I'm sure there's a better way of spreading the glue than with my finger, but my finger is just so easily accessible. I don't really care. This glue dries pretty quick. You can't really mess around with it. You have to stick it down where you want it and hope that you will still like it there, because it just takes a few moments till it's dry. And so it definitely comes off of my finger quickly also. As you can see, I have a lot of beautiful labels and other items for these journals. And I'm very much looking forward to building all of these. This was another one of those small, I think they're mostly betta fish. Not quite sure if I'm going to add this in at this point, and I do end up adding that into one of the smaller journals. And this is just a first go through. I will probably bind the journal and bind one of the smaller journals and do a lot more of the build without recording, and then do follow-up videos of the second two. The second small one and the second larger journal, after I've had the practice of these ones, and can talk more about the process. So thank you for joining me, and apparently I was done. I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.